What up, guys? Your boy Quake and Drake, just like I predicted, man. He is facing backlash from 2Pac's estate. You know, we got Snoop Dogg's response, right? He didn't really have anything really to say about it. He was just surprised that his AI voice got used in that Drake tailor-made freestyle diss towards Kendrick Lamar. Then we got a response from Suge Knight, which I agree with Suge Knight. I talked about how a lot of people on the West Coast could take Drake using 2Pac's AI voice to diss a West Coast artist that respects 2Pac in a very bad way. West Coast could end up having a coastal war with Drake up north with Toronto people. So it could get very ugly in terms of the West Coast. You know, they don't take lightly to artists getting disrespected, especially from their hometown. And I know 2Pac isn't from 100% California, but he repped it for a long time. So they view him as a pretty much a West Coast artist in their own right. Well, it looks like 2Pac's estate is siding with Kendrick Lamar and wants no parts in Drake using 2Pac's name, identity, voice, whatever, in disrespecting Kendrick Lamar. So let's go over the article. 2Pac's estate has given Drake an ultimatum regarding his tailor-made freestyle diss against Kendrick Lamar, which features the late rapper's likeness in artificial intelligence form. On Wednesday, April 23rd, Billboard obtained and published a cease and desist letter from litigator Howard King to the Canadian superstar for using a computer-generated replica of the West Coast icon's voice on his latest song. The Death Row Records legend's family is threatening to pursue all of its legal remedies if he doesn't pull down the track in question within 24 hours of receiving the notice. The estate is deeply dismayed and disappointed by your unauthorized use of 2Pac's voice and personality, the note reads. Not only is the record a flagrant violation of 2Pac's publicity and the estate's legal rights, it is also a blatant abuse of the legacy of one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time. The estate would never have given its approval for this use. The unauthorized, equally dismayed use of 2Pac's voice against Kendrick Lamar, a good friend to the estate who has given nothing but respect to 2Pac and his legacy publicly and privately, compounds the insult. So they're saying, listen, you're going up against a guy who's always shown love to our estate and our artists that we are representing. We ain't dealing with that bullshit. It's hard to believe that 2Pac's record label's intellectual property was not scraped to create the fake 2Pac AI on the record. The song has generated well more than 1 million streams at this point and has been widely reported in the general national press and popular entertainment websites and publications. Without question, it is exponentially more serious and damaging than a picture of you with some other people on a low-volume website. If you comply, the state will consider whether an informal negotiation to resolve this matter makes sense. If you do not comply, our client has authorized this firm to pursue all of its legal remedies, including but not limited to an action for violation of the estate's copyright, publicity, and personality rights, and the resultant damages, injunctive relief, and punitive damages and attorney's fees. Also, though, and we're going to talk about this a little bit after, is 2Pac's brother was unhappy with Drake using, his voice. Before I get into that, though, I want to talk about this actual lawsuit and if they can actually sue. That's the thing we got to look into. So, one, this song hasn't officially been released on streaming platforms. No Spotify, no Apple Music, none of the platforms that Drake can make money off of was this released. It was released on Instagram on Drake's profile, just dropped. That's it. So that's the first thing. There is no money that Drake is making off of this. And when you're not making money off something, it's really hard to cease and desist something when it's not making money off it. That's the number one thing. Second, people are going to be like, well, Quake, there was a Weekend and Drake AI song that somebody ghostwritten that was using, Drake and Weeknd's likeness, that people thought it was real. That got removed. Why did that get cease and desist removed? Well, that actually got added to streaming platforms. Not even joking. It got added to Spotify. I don't know if it got added to Apple Music, but I know it got added to Spotify. It was racking up hundreds of thousands of streams. That's a different story. Had Drake posted this on Spotify, Apple Music, and stuff, it would have been way worse, obviously. But Drake was smart enough not to do that. Third, it's also very clear this is AI. Drake is not trying to deceive anybody or lie to anybody and say, well, this is real 2Pac vocals. Because first off, 2Pac didn't know who Kendrick was or Drake was. Obviously, he died way before they even became anything. And second, clear as day, Drake never claimed this is real. Snoop Dogg never said it was me on the track. He just laughed at the situation, which confirms it was AI. So Drake is not pushing this record as official Tupac vocals. That's another thing. So he's not really deceiving the public. It's different with that Weeknd and Drake track that got removed and cease and desisted. That was on streaming platforms, and it was deceiving the public. They didn't say, hey, this is AI. They just said this is a real Weeknd and Drake track and pushed it as that. That's the difference in this. So I need people to really, differentiate the two. Yes, can it be viewed as disrespectful to Tupac and his estate? Yes. But every day people say disrespectful shit about Tupac. Every day people have opinions about Tupac. Vlad had interviewed one of the women that said he got raped. She got raped by Tupac. They can't cease and desist that. Tupac is a public figure, so people are going to speak on Tupac regardless. So they can't cease and desist just, people that are doing regular people things about public figures. So I think Drake is in the clear here because AI, the laws in AI voice manipulation still hasn't been firm yet. We don't know what the laws are, but this is probably going to catch a lot of people's attention, a lot of lawmakers' attention, and then eventually there are going to be laws put into all this AI stuff. That, hey, if you do this AI stuff, if you manipulate it or you try to persuade people into thinking this is real, you can face jail time, prison time, whatever. But we're not at that point yet. So their state is threatening a lot of things, but are they actually going to pull the trigger? We'll see. As of now, I'm going to actually go on the phone and check right now. As of now, Drake hasn't taken down, I think, the record. Nope, it's still up there. How many streams has it got? 48 million plays on the Instagram. 48 million. He's not making any money off that, though. 2.2 million likes, 48 million streams on the Instagram page. It's obviously on different platforms, but Drake can't control who rips it off that and posts it on YouTube and all these other platforms. He can only control what he can control. So, I think that they want to, people are kind of, the thing about Tupac's estate too is it's ran by a guy who people are saying it has no affiliation with Tupac and that Tupac's family is against the estate. They don't really like the estate, but I don't know. That's a whole different story that we're getting into. But regardless, they're looking out for Tupac's best interest when it comes to his intellectual property. And one guy said it best, man. I don't know where I read this at, but Tupac's been the most relevant artist year after year, even after his death. Like, we're in 2024, and Tupac is still talked about daily, every single year. That guy's impact is undeniable. Tupac's brother, let's go over what he had to say. So Tupac's brother has dismissed Drake for using his late brother's voice in the viral AR track against Kendrick Lamar. According to an article published by TMZ on Tuesday, April 23rd, Mopreme Shakur thinks it was inappropriate for the Sixth God to use his sibling's likeness to disrespect another rapper. He said this: he reportedly feels that Drizzy should have gone one-on-one with K-Dot rather than bring out what he referred to as a nuclear option. Well aware of the Compton MC's place in West Coast rap, he saw that the computer-generated use of Pac's voice in said context to be uncalled for. Finally, Mopreme told the outlet that he still can't decide who the winner of the hip-hop battle royale is quite yet, because it is still too soon to land on a conclusion. The joint in question was released by Canadian Superstar across social media platforms last week. Yeah, tailor-made freestyle, we know. So that's how his brother feels. If that's how his brother feels, then, hey, man, you got to respect it. I think it upset people. Some people don't care. I personally really don't care because it's not trying to trick people into thinking it's Tupac and Snoop Dogg. That's the number one thing for me when it comes to this AI stuff. If you're trying to trick and pass it off as the real thing, then I got an issue with you. But if you make it clear, hey, this is the AI version of this artist, it's not real, it's written by somebody else, it's this and that. Hey, man, as much as I don't like it, at least there's no manipulating here, because with this AI stuff, there's going to be a lot of manipulating. There'll be a lot of fake videos, a lot of fake audio. There's going to be a lot of trying to trick people into things. And that's where I have an issue with AI. I got no issue with people being creative and just coming up with things and just making it clear it's AI. That's the problem with my whole thing with AI. But we'll keep our eyes posted and see if anything changes as the days go on. That's it for today's video. If you guys want to support this channel further, you can do so at patreon.com
youtube.com/diverse mentality. For just $3 a month, you can get my videos uncut and raw the way I intended them to be, but couldn't because of YouTube. Plus, you also get access to our Discord community, where we have a great community talking about hip hop and various other things. It's very dope. So only $3 a month. I'd really appreciate the support. Also follow us on social media at QuakeGW and at Diverse Mentality. Thank you so much for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.